Okay, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel, and obviously now you guys are hearing that my voice is slightly distorted and maybe the camera angle's a little bit different and all of that, but anyway, I do have a pretty exciting little video for you today. But a little disclaimer before we get into it: we are trying something a little bit new with the camera, which obviously explains why my voice sounds the way it does, and of course why the camera angle is slightly different. It is a prototype, so before we even get into the video, this is one of those things I am going to ask you guys to leave in the comments whether you think it's a good idea, if you like it, does it work, does it not work, all of the above. Anyway, that being said, let's get into today's video. So like I said, I've got something pretty damn exciting for you guys. This thing I have seen probably for the better half of 3 or 4 months prior to us actually getting them, and when you guys see it, I'm pretty sure you guys are going to recognize it as well, because I know this thing has caught everyone's attention. And it is, of course, the ESG B10 from G&G. So this right here is a built-up shotgun. It takes standard M4 magazines. It runs off green gas power. I have been waiting for this thing to come in forever. It is probably one of the coolest guns I've seen out there. It doesn't resemble anything from the real world as far as I know. Of course, it does kind of look like something out of a sci-fi film. And obviously it is a built-up, but that's beside the point. This thing is absolutely insane. So obviously it is not full metal. It is, I'd say, roughly 60-70% full metal. It is quite beefy, of course, because you do have green gas internal workings, which is also right here in the back and the stock. It does have a bit of a polymer body, the lower half, in other words, and then the upper half is obviously full metal, and you do have these M-lock rails with the raised sight rail up top. Now you can remove that. I don't know why you would, but you can obviously fit your optics and that sort of stuff to it, even though it's not going to be accurate. I mean, it is a shotgun at the end of the day, so of course it's not going to be dead on accurate, you know, drop the dude at 60 odd meters. That's not what it's there for. This thing is like just pure fun, and it's there to be enjoyed. And obviously once I actually gas it up and fire it down range, you guys will see what I'm talking about. So it's a pretty simple working system. If you guys are familiar with the Mark 23s, or the Novrich Mark 23s in particular, the same sort of system, you do have this sort of double action trigger. So a bit of a heavy pull and it'll fire. It's not actually as heavy as one thinks, but it is heavier than most, or heavier than a normal sort of trigger out of an AEG or any other airsoft gun out there. But it is a double action, and that is obviously what is activating your gas. So it runs pretty much on the same system as most pistols would. You do have a hammer, which is obviously hitting a striker. That striker is then pumping your gas through the system and propelling your BBs. Now, where this thing gets interesting is obviously you guys are seeing this little AR styled selector over there. So, of course, you do have safe. You have a 5-shot function and a 10-shot shotgun. 10-shot function, sorry. It is ambidextrous, so for all of you lefties out there, you're not going to have an issue. So yeah, this thing is absolutely incredible. There is also rumors, however, of a attachment that is going to fit in here, so you can remove this handguard here and it will expose a type of Picatinny rail, so you can obviously fit foregrips and that sort of thing. But there is whispers and rumors that there is a grenade launcher attachment that is coming out specifically for the ESB, which will obviously mount onto the bottom there, and of course just make this thing even that much more fun, because that's what it is. It is hella fun. It is quite a short barrel, yes. The inner barrel actually stops around about there, so of course you do get a nice wide spread. And of course with this sort of hollow tube up front here, this thing is actually quite loud, and you do have a pretty gnarly intimidation factor. So obviously to prime it, get ready, you're just going to be using your standard green gas. You would obviously, you can run it on propane, of course it will still do the job, but green gas is one of the things I would recommend here. Normally I would recommend propane for most GVBs, but you can obviously get into the workings of most GVBs and lube them up manually, whereas here, yeah, not so much. So just stick with your green gas. It does have your lubrication in there. It's going to be healthier for the gun in the long run. And at the end of the day, with this sort of thing, you don't need brute force, you don't need brute power. It's not what it's there for. It is there to be fun. So of course, so you're going to gas it up much like pretty much any other AEG. So gun upside down, canister into your fill nozzle there, Okay, so roughly for a full charge of gas, you're going to be looking at around about 20-30 seconds. It should fill it up. Give it a little bit longer. I would even go as far as going almost a minute, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's not going to overgas or anything like that. Just hold the can down, go for it. Hella fun, as you guys are going to see now. So of course, it does take your standard AR magazine, so you will get a G&G mid cap with it, which is obviously this bad boy over here. So 140 odd rounds, much like pretty much any other M4 AG or any other bullpup, slot straight in, and of course 5-shot function. And of course the 10 and empty. So that is a full mid cap gone, empty, it's done. So yes, it is quite heavy on ammo. It's going to be, of course, if you're running it on the 10-shot function, which is where the most fun is going to be. Of course, you're going to empty a mid cap in 14 trigger pulls, depending how full the magazine is. If you go all the way to the 140 mark, 14 trigger pulls, and it's going to be empty. So and there we go, full on dry, but epic little shotgun. So obviously FPS and joules and that sort of thing, it's not going to be all that high. There is no way to actually chrono it for obvious reasons. I'm sure you guys can figure it out, but if we had to guess, I would say maybe just shy of 300 feet per second, probably a bit less, closer to like the 250 mark. So it's not all that hard hitting. I would recommend running it on something like 0.2s and that sort of stuff, because obviously this is going to be a close range weapon, so you don't want to hurt anyone, you don't want to run heavy BBs. Run something like a 0.2, maximum 0.25s, and just have fun with it. And go ahead and check out the ESB 10. This thing is absolutely insane. And of course, if you go and hit this little code right here, you're going to get yourself a nice 10%, good lord, I wish I could, an extra 5% off on one of these shotguns. So for those of you guys out there who like your CQB and want to make a statement, go ahead, get yourself 5% off and grab yourself an ESB 10 from G&G. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys like the new studio. I know I did mention it in the last video, but nevertheless, and of course, as always, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, keep us going, turn on the bell notifications so you get notified when we do drop new videos. And of course, I will see you guys in the next video. As always, I'm Section, stay classy, and above all, pull those hits, and I'll see you guys in the next video.